them met the criteria. I know.
So I thought this was a good exchange. This is Hasan Piker and Larry Elder are talking about the issue is, and this is a debate, June 15th, 2019. They're in the same studio before COVID. This is crazy. This is amazing. This is fantastic. You actually had Larry Elder and Hasan Piker side by side. And here's some of that.
Many of our viewers are crying over that.
They will be missed.
An entertaining guy.
Where do you guys see the state of the race? Because I think you both might agree on something. Neither of you like Joe Biden.
Well, I'm not a fan of any of them.
Yeah.
So they both don't like Joe Biden, and so you're going to listen to Hasan Piker's explanation, Hasan Piker, of why, Joe Biden is not, who the fuck wants a goddamn Biden presidency? He's that right-wing Republican conservative. When you got a Bernie Sanders, who the fuck in their right mind? And then you even got Elizabeth Warren. If you don't get Bernie, then you're definitely going to go Elizabeth Warren. Fucking Biden? My God, you had to go, 5 rungs down the totem pole? You had to really, just the 7th layer of hell. You picked through the 7th layer of white trash to get to that motherfucker, didn't you?
Neither, except for Bernie.
Maybe you like Elizabeth Warren?
Maybe I'll vote for Elizabeth Warren, but it's definitely the second best.
So
option.
if Joe Biden got the nomination and is running against President Trump, you would not vote for him?
I don't know. I've honestly considered moving up into the mountains and living an anarcho-primitivist lifestyle if Joe Biden becomes the Democratic nominee. I think Trump.
So that was more preferable. Just go live in the goddamn mountains. Go live in the fucking woods. Just live a hermit lifestyle if goddamn Biden becomes president. Live in the fucking woods, Don't get, fucking $3 million mansion? No, you're going to have to live in the goddamn mountains, in the woods. Just fucking tuck yourself in top of the woods and top of the mountains.
Trump has a chance of defeating Joe Biden. But worse than that, even if Joe Biden wins, I think we go back to business as usual politics here in America. And next time around, it's not going to be Donald Trump. It's actually going to be an ideologically minded fascist, not a proto-fascist who kind of succeeded somehow and fooled Americans for long enough to get into a position of power, but an actual terrifying leader.
Yeah, so that's what Joe Biden is going to get us. According to Hasan Piker, Joe Biden is going to get us not a Donald Trump light, but a full-blown Hitler, a full-blown fucking Hitler, Mussolini, Tojo, fascist, extraordinaire, fucking corporate, corporate government, capitalist class unification.
Leader. Oh, my goodness. There was just a poll in Gallup, and they looked at Donald Trump ideologically. 17% believed that he was too conservative. 18% thought George W. Bush was too conservative. 38% think that Donald Trump's views are just right. 36% thought George W.'s views were just right. 39% thought both of them were too conservative. So the people perceive Donald Trump and George W. Bush to be almost mirror images ideologically. But I hear all this stuff about Donald Trump has changed the Republican Party, turned it into a party of cults. It's not true. People perceive them to be ideologically identical.
I agree with you on that. I 100% agree with you. I think and we talked about this outside, Donald Trump is a perfectly sound Republican, but also George W. Bush was a war criminal. So I don't like George W. Bush either.
All right, let's take a break.
Criminal.
Let's take a break. Let's let everybody cool down a little bit.
Remember?
Up next, we're going to talk about another issue that brings people together, the issue of homelessness here in California.
So we're going to talk about homelessness coming up. Homelessness with Hasan Piker and Larry Elder.
Less barbecues and poolside.
I'm on the edge of my seat. Hey, bro. Look, bro, this is what's going on, bro. Hi, I'm Larry Elder, and
Wait, that's crazy. Did you pick this for me?
Back with our panel.
So let's give this a second to load up, and let's just, go Dennis Richter. God, man, so many of these damn candidates. Yeah, the Democrats aren't saying vote for question 2, but none of the motherfuckers on the ballot want to be paid. Nobody, Dennis Richter. You have no presence, Dennis Richter, on YouTube. You have 0 presence. John Robert Drake, nothing. Hey, Dan Kapilovich, you just got one fucking interview talking to some fucking douchebag. I have no idea. I didn't watch the whole. I couldn't watch the. I have no idea what you think about any goddamn thing. You got a couple planks to your platform. Jacqueline McGowan, yeah, you yelling at Larry Elder. That's all fun and dandy and good and exciting and what have you. But we need strong platforms. Look at Larry Elder. He has talked to so many fucking media people out there. You just click on one video after another video after another video. It's endless Larry Elder. You can't stop. If if a person just wants to watch Larry Elder all fucking day long, there's plenty of clips, hour-long fucking interviews with lots of motherfucking people. Lots of people talking about Larry Elder, lots of interviews that Larry Elder has done, lots of speeches he's given. Jesus fucking Christ. Like I said, it's like Larry Elder has been running for this office for, 50 years. So, Dennis Richter.
Talk show host and author Larry Elder, Hasan Piker of the Young Turks.
Dennis Richter he's listed as a retail worker, and I was like, is that some clever thing? Yeah, it is. He's 72. He's actually part of the Socialist Workers Party. So I like Dennis Richter. I like Angel Lynn. I like all of them a little bit here and there, but I just feel like they're not trying to get their goddamn message out. I don't understand why they are. Why are you not trying to get your goddamn message out? What is the fucking point? Why are you? I don't So he wants higher wages, workers' rights. Apparently he was raised in rural Minnesota, elected leader of the Socialist Workers Party, worker for decades, rail, meatpacking, steel, garment. He works at Walmart right now, okay? So participant trade union struggles for higher wages, workers, control over working conditions. Is he trying to unionize, Walmart, defender Cuban revolution against Washington's economic embargo, giving talks on revolutionary fight for workers and farmers, government and U.S. amnesty for immigrant workers. Dennis Richter. Go vote for Dennis Richter. Okay, more Hasan Piker and Larry Elder.
Turks. Larry, let's start with you. I asked this question to Congresswoman Bass earlier. Is this a failure of liberal policies in California?
Yes, because part of the reason for the homelessness crisis is because of the lack of affordability. Leo Haney is an economist from UCLA. He estimates that because of zoning ordinances, NIMBYism, all the rules and regulations that they put on people that want to build housing, housing costs almost 50% higher than an audit cost. So that is a failure of liberal policy. The next problem, of course, is that a lot of people who are homeless have mental problems, they have substance abuse problems, and throwing money at it. The government needs to get out of the way and allow churches and nonprofits to deal with this problem, because government can't do it.
Okay. I agree. I think this is a problem of liberal capitalism, 100%. And I also agree with everything that Larry just said. I think the solution is to decommoditize housing as best as possible through a series of different programs. Rent control was something that was put forward, and unfortunately private interests were so powerful that BlackRock, for example, spent, I believe, upwards of $14 million or $75 million in just lobbying and marketing to do it.
He said he agreed with everything Larry Elder said. That was a pushback that Hasan Piker pushed on his homelessness plan. Oh, Larry Elder's homelessness plan? I agree with everything he just said. I mean, I wasn't paying attention to everything he said, but probably like right-wing shit, right?
Okay. I agree. I think this is a problem of liberal capitalism, 100%. And I also agree with everything that Larry just said. I think the solution is to decommoditize housing as best as possible through a series of different programs. Rent control was something that was put forward, and unfortunately private interests were so powerful that BlackRock, for example, spent, I believe, upwards of $14 million or $75 million in just lobbying and marketing efforts to make sure that rent control that did not happen in the state of California. They're not in California. They just own a bunch of houses. There are 100,000 empty homes in the San Francisco metro area alone. And there are, 59,000 homeless people? It doesn't seem like it. I know what the solution to this problem is. I think we all know what the solution to the problem is, and yet we can't grasp our minds. We can't just say it.
What's the solution?
Giving homeless people houses. It sounds ridiculous, but there are empty houses and people dying in the streets. What's more important? Making sure that the property values are as high as possible, or making sure that our fellow Americans, young children who are going to college right now, trying to better themselves and trying to build a better future for America, living in their cars, living on the streets. What's more important?
Rent control and policies like that create a disincentive on the part of contractors to build housing. So if you really
Well, no, that's precisely what I mean.
if you really understood the problem, you'd be opposing rent control, not advocating.
I don't think rent control is a perfect solution. I think rent control is a Band-Aid, but it's a solution in the right direction.
No, it's not.
Because what did I say? I said decommoditizing housing is the main goal. Building public housing, building affordable housing in the short term with rent control, making it as unaffordable as possible on the landlords to own private properties, so that housing, which I would regard as an inelastic, I would regard as having inelastic demand, which is a necessity for people to survive, shelter, right? Very important. Should be dealt with appropriately. But I also feel the same way about health care as well.
So you want government to displace private contractors?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. I think private contractors demonstrably are failing right now. We are seeing this. We're talking about homelessness. Why do you think this problem exists in California? It's affordability. People can't buy houses. And you're right about the mental health issue as well. Again, another thing where our government is failing us.
Larry, your defense for private contractors.
Well, if Hasan believes the problem with homelessness is because we don't have more rent control, I don't know what planet he's living on. New York has had rent control for a very long period of time. It destroyed their housing stock that they had before the Second World War.
It's not just rent control, Larry. Don't focus on that.
And the idea that I, as a contractor, should be barred from charging fair market value for my rent will create a disincentive for me to build more housing. And single-room occupancy also has been pretty much regulated out here in California. We ought to rethink that. So we ought to unleash the private sector, not constrain the private sector as Hasan wants to do.
Here's what happens when you unleash the private sector. Sorry to cut you off. Airbnb, which is absolutely destroying the housing market as well. Because, hey, they're incentivized. That's what happens when you try to fix something with the profit motive. You have a bunch of homeless people, and then Larry sits here and says, why don't we just let the nonprofits take care of it? Well, the nonprofits are not going to take care of it. If we wanted to wait for people to be nice to one another, I don't think we would have gotten into this problem in the first place.
Let's talk about another issue. California passed a budget this week, over $200 billion. Perhaps the most controversial aspect of it was this health care for undocumented people under 26 will have access to Medicaid.
You mean illegal aliens?
Or depending on your perspective on what word you choose to use.
Wait, let me ask you. You said illegal aliens. Do you not think that they're human? They're human beings, right?
Is there a term called undocumented in the U.S. Title Code?
It doesn't matter. Are they human beings or not? I'm asking you a direct question.
It doesn't matter.
We're having. You want to have a conversation about the legality and whatnot when we
question like that? No, they're gerbils. Of course, they're human beings.
Oh, okay. So then that's fine. Then we should give them health care. There we go.
The question is, what should we call them? And the answer is the precise name in the title code for people in the country illegally is illegal alien. Not undocumented. It's not in there.
Why are you trying to back into the legal conversation when we're trying to have a conversation around morality? Obviously, I understand how the law works. The law is also susceptible to changing. Now, let's have a conversation about the morality of whether or not we should be giving these people health care.
Well, let's ask the question, though, in terms of, because money is not, infinite. So
sure.
Sort of the choice for California taxpayers, when we have so many other problems, including homelessness for so many California residents, is this a good use of California taxpayer money to give it to pay for this?
Yes, no, absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. I think we should solve the homelessness problem as well, as I demonstrated in a few different ways, and how we can make it a little bit better and mitigate that problem. But we should also absolutely help the people that are here already, that are working in all facets of industry, that are contributing to taxes. I mean, these are just human beings. You can call them undocumented, or you can call them illegal, you can call them whatever you want, but these are human beings that are
building
existing.
a bigger welcome mat for people to come here illegally. In California, already illegal aliens can drive cars legally. In California, the illegal aliens can get in-state tuition, which somebody in Wisconsin born here can't get. It's outrageous.
Do you hear yourself, though? Like, you want to bar human beings from driving around?
Well,
just because they were born on another side of an imaginary border? border.
Here's the governor's perspective on this, because I asked him that same question, and he says, look, they're here anyways. They're going to the emergency room anyways. It's going to be more expensive to treat them in the emergency room, so we're better off giving them health care so then they can get preventative care. What do you say to that?
The answer is you are creating incentives on the part of people to come here illegally, to come to California and
Wait,
take
so why not
advantage.
kill them?
And take advantage.
Why not kill them? Why not
fair.
enslave them and put them in camps then?
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
Well,
This
that's
guy's a piece of cake.
No,
You really are a
serious
piece of
question.
cake.
I mean, it's a serious question.
This guy is a piece of cake. This is a good question because I feel like, it might be hyperbole, it might be a slippery slope, so, take it for what it's worth. But he, it wants to crack down on immigration if he does it, reasonably and responsibly. And, yeah, right, this is our country, it's not your country, so there's got to be like a process and shit. Now, there's a reasonable way to go about it, but there's an extreme way to go about it too, right? So you could go, you could be too soft on it. You could also be too hard. So is it possible that he would, round up a bunch of homeless or immigrants or maybe even black folks? It seems like, I don't know, he feels a little bit racist to me, a little. Why is he against the term African American? Why does he oppose, Black History Month? Why is he against critical race theory?
Because I don't use the term illegal alien. Are they human beings? Are they human beings?
No.
That's ridiculous. You talk about straw men, you just did that.
That's a question that I'm directing to you. I'm not making a statement. Here's the difference.
People should come to the country
How
legally.
far should we go?
People should come to the country legally.
How far should we go for those who are here already, though? Should we kill them? You said you're fine with not giving them cars. You're fine with barring them from driving. You're fine with barring them from access to health care. How far should we go? Should we put them in little camps?
We should
maybe ship them away?
not reward them for coming here illegally.
Okay.
I agree with President Donald Trump.
So how far do you think we should go?
May I answer the question? We should get rid of the bad hombres. Those who have done real serious crimes, they should be gotten rid of. And there are hundreds of thousands of people already that have deportation orders, and we haven't rounded them up and gotten them out. They ought to be gotten out.
Do you think everyone with a deportation order is a bad hombre, or do you think people are just getting deported at a higher rate now because Donald Trump wants to make it seem like he's doing something?
He's prioritized it, and if you walk down the street and you're an illegal alien, you cross the street illegally, you're not being deported. He's talking about bad hombres, and I like the way he's doing it.
All right, we're gonna have to leave it there. Before we go to break, though, we got to give a shout out to the Toronto Raptors and their #1 fan, Drake. And an NBA Finals